everybody, and welcome back to Chai Chatter. On today's menu, we'll be discussing our childhoods with a side of lemon zinger tea.
Sponsored, not sponsored. Should we start off with like our childhood obsessions, like things that we loved as a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a lot.
Oh yeah, you go ahead, Missy.
Yeah, no, I was a weird kid. I had a lot of things that I was like very obsessed with. The most notable one was owls. I was like, I don't know why, like one day I just like decided I really liked owls. Mm-hmm. And me and my friend Talia both really liked owls. And like ever since then, like our parents just like whenever they found anything that was like owl related, like even if it was like the dumbest thing ever, or like not even our parents, just for like birthdays, Christmas, anything, we'd get owl related stuff. So now I just have like a ton of like useless like owl related items. I have like an owl egg timer, an owl like washcloth, an owl popsicle molds. So yeah, I don't know why.
Wait, like the popsicle comes out in the shape of an owl.
Yeah, it's from Winners.
From Winners.
Yeah.
Sponsored, not sponsored.
Okay, so when I was younger, we kind of briefly like mentioned this to each other before. Played a lot of games like Wizard 101, Moshi Monsters, Club Penguin, Movie Star Planet, Neopets. Was anybody?
No, I didn't do that one.
Okay. Going off of that topic, I loved Avatar: The Last Airbender, and during recess, I have personally always identified as an airbender. I know about you, but like I would do like the arm motion, like, you know, or whatever, and try to, because in the boundaries of real life, it seems like airbending is kind of the most plausible because you can like feel yourself moving in the air, whereas the other stuff like not really. But yeah, did you guys have any like particular TV shows and stuff that you loved?
When I was little, I was a Dora the Explorer stan. Like my entire room, I watched all the time. I remember one specific dream about it. Like I Dora the Explorer, and then also like the whole Diego, all of the entire universe of it, you know? That was Chantal's thing.
I also really liked Dora. I remember Blue's Clues was another one when I was really young.
Barbie movies.
Oh, yeah, so many.
Okay, wait. Top 3 Barbie movies.
No, I need to think.
Okay,
They're all
we're
so
gonna take
good.
some time to think.
I need to write this down. Like I need to write a pros and cons list.
Oh my god.
Is it like best as in like our favorites, or the
Favorites.
ones that are just like the best?
Like
Favorites, not
yeah, because
Okay.
this is like, you know, some of them are not critically acclaimed, but they are like guilty pleasures.
They're all critically acclaimed to me. I don't
Yes,
know.
you are right. I'll throw out one. The one I've rewatched the most is probably Barbie Princess Charm School. Because
Yeah, that's good.
It combines the whole like princess thing, like any girl can become a princess,
And also like the magic and like mystery of what's happening.
rags to riches, the outfits, the outfits. And I still remember that one scene when they typed in the combination like dun 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 dun. That was so great.
Another one that was really big for me was Barbie and the Diamond Castle.
Yeah.
That one was
That
huge
was one
for
of
me.
my
I watched that
favorites.
one so many times.
And the BFF energy from that. That was so good. Diana, have you come up
No,
with...
I have an empty list. They're all so good. Oh, give me more time.
The big classic, The 12 Dancing Princesses.
Oh, yeah.
That one,
Yeah.
everyone, you have to love it.
Oh, wait. One that is still like a classic for Christmas sometimes is the Barbie and a Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Because the storyline is based on the novel, right?
Yeah,
so
it
you
is.
know the plot is good. But that one, like, there's the whole like life lesson. The outfits are cool.
The outfits are really cool.
And the main character has depth, okay? She's not just like regular super nice Barbie. She has depth.
I
to
remember
her.
I liked her hair in that one.
Now, we are going to have Diana, future film school student.
No, you can't say that.
Yes, we are. Present her critical analysis of all Barbie movies, or most of them that she can remember. Woo! Go Diana!
Yeah. Okay, so I have my top 3 plus an honorable mention. Okay, so the honorable mention is Barbie as Rapunzel. My reasons for putting Barbie as Rapunzel as an honorable mention is because while it is not as good as the top 3 that I'm about to name, I think that it's still very good. I loved her dress, like the sparkly purple one. I had a Barbie doll that was that dress. I loved it so much. I really liked the villains, like, I don't know what it was. I think it was just like a long rat. Is it a muskrat?
Was it a ferret? A ferret. Slimy
that
ferret.
stupid little ferret that was so funny. I loved that ferret so much. Also the plot twist of her being like the old king's dead daughter. Yeah, so good, so good. I remember child me would be like, all right, number 3 is Mermaid Tale. I don't know. I really like this one. This was like one of my favorites, but I just don't think it's as good or iconic as my number 1 and number 2 picks. I really liked it. I was like very much obsessed with being a mermaid because of this movie. Like I remember me and my friend Micah would literally like pretend we were mermaids at the pool.
Or like even in like bathtubs being like, I'm a mermaid.
Yeah, no, I did that. And I remember with our class, we took like a swimming class at like the YMCA or something. And like me and Micah to each other would always be like, I'm turning into a mermaid. Like it was so stupid. But anyways, truly did believe I was a mermaid because of that movie. Second is The Three Musketeers because that one is iconic. Also, it's just like so good. I love how
that one was so cute.
It
animals.
is.
The little like mini.
Yeah, and how they're all just like, I don't know, different colors, different weapons.
Okay. So the lady with the necklace was so badass.
Yeah. And the mask.
Yeah, Renee.
When they pulled down the mask. Oh my god.
love that movie.
And when they were about to like go beat people up, they like shredded their dresses, and I was like, hot in hair.
No, this movie is on the list solely because of that scene where they like take off their dresses, and also the scene where they're like training with that like old lady who's like super buff.
That was such a girl power movie.
Number 1 is of course the iconic Diamond Castle, just because I feel like I remember just like literally quoting like all the jokes from that movie and like thinking it was funny for some reason. Like I loved it so much. It was the best. And that's it.
Literally.
That's my review.
Wait, speaking of Disney, okay, so I wasn't somebody that really grew up on Disney. I more preferred Ghibli because like Asian, but Mulan will always be my favorite.
Except the remake, the live action. I can't.
Okay, wait, moment of silence for the remake. Okay, whatever. Yeah, that's all it deserves. The thing is about the remake is that in the original, right, it was like Mulan was just a regular girl, and through hard work and through determination, she could be whatever it is that she wanted to be. But in this one,
she just has chi powers for some reason.
She was just naturally born a wonderful fighter, and it was like totally against the original message.
Also, just like the fact that the movie, not only do you have to pay for like a subscription service like Disney Plus to see it, but also like $30 on top of that. Like I didn't pay that. Trust.
No,
I didn't even consider it. I was like, even if it was supposed to be amazing, I probably wouldn't pay it.
There's also like some controversial stuff like surrounding like the movie itself. Because apparently they like filmed in like the areas where they have like the Muslim concentration camps in China, and like Disney just did not care.
Oh, actually, I don't think it was that they did not care, but that they cooperated a lot with the government in the area.
Yikes.
So that's something, obviously right here, I don't think we know a lot of the details, so it's hard to say, but it was definitely sketchy.
Not looking good for
rough there.
And also like the lead actress, apparently she supports like the Hong Kong police and like all the brutality that's going on there. So,
but I do think like just on the topic of that, sometimes even if the leaders of a project are controversial, I think it might not be good for the rest, because you have to think about all of the cast and crew, the small people with families and stuff like that still worked on the movie, and you can't discredit
just one like actor or actress just like makes people go, I'm not gonna go see it. I hate that. It's it's if it's the project itself. Like you can't be like, oh, by boycotting this movie, I'm boycotting this person. No, you're boycotting the entire hundreds of people that work
like
on
it's
it.
fine if you were not gonna see it in the first place, right? You don't have to, but it that kind of thing.
Do you guys think that you can separate the art from the artist, or
in most cases,
usually
yes, but if their art is about that part of them that is controversial or morally disagrees with your own values, then right. Like for example, a lot of people throughout history, just because the time that they were born, they had a lot of questions questionable values, and it could just be a mark of their time. And it's like, we shouldn't, you know, discredit the good that came out of their work, just because, like,
just because they're a little racist.
just because they're a little racist, and like, you know, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it really does depend on, I guess, the person and whatever work it is. And also if you're giving that person money. Like, if you're just gonna watch like a movie where like the director is like a questionable person, and you're just like watching on like 1, 2, 3 movies or something, and you're not giving them any money.
Yeah.
I see no issue with that personally.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 movies.
Sponsored, not sponsored.
Okay, so now maybe we should go back to the topic of childhood.
Ooh, I have a question. You kind of touched on it very lightly with the airbending, but was there like a recess game that you and your friends would like just like be so attached to and like play constantly?
Have you guys played Foursquare before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
Foursquare.
phase. It happens in high school too. The phase of trends, like, you know, the Musical.lys, the Kick. Like messenger fidget spinners. Like, there are trends that pass through, and then that was one where for a solid like 6-7 months, all we did was play Foursquare. It's actually really fun. You get like super in and competitive.
I have a funny story from elementary school. Well, kind of a sad story, but funny. Once I was playing hide and go seek with like my class in elementary school, and I found this spot by kind of like the front of the school where I could like, I laid back behind like this kind of like pillar, and then I sat down, and then I covered my legs in like wood chips, because there was like wood chips there, and I was like, this is the best hiding spot ever. No one will ever find me. And no one did find me. So I was out there for like half an hour, and I was like still just kind of like waiting for someone to find me. But like recess was over, like people had gone back into school, like the lesson had already started, and just like no one realized I was gone. So
my like recess game for at least probably a year was, we would like pretend to be fairies. Like, there was those books that like each would be about a different fairy. So we made up our own
remember
characters.
those. What was it, like the rainbow?
Yeah, Rainbow Magic.
Yeah, Rainbow Magic.
So we made up our own characters. Every recess we'd be doing that, and then like we would like make spells and like nature stuff, and then eventually like we made like wraps and stuff out like that would have like sap on a leaf, and then you would like close it with a pine needle.
Yeah.
And we like, I don't know, we were just like, oh, we're fairies doing things.
Wait. Speaking of like identifying with characters, have you guys seen Totally Spies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Are you a Sam, a Clover, or an Alec?
I don't know which one I am,
Okay.
but I always know I liked Sam the best.
I know, like, it was just nerd elementary school me that was like, she's intellectual. And I didn't like Clover because I think it might have been like internalized misogyny or something.
I
Because
like Clover was my second favorite.
Clover's
She was
always-
funnier. I think
yeah.
I was kind of a Clover girl.
As I
honestly.
grew older though, I like appreciate that, because Clover can be a lot of different things. Like, sometimes she's incredibly mature, sometimes she's just like really like frivolous, and she is super confident in herself. You know, she don't take nothing, but she's also super capable of like pulling it out when she needs to be. It's just that Sam is usually the one that does it first. You mentioned something about like not liking your elementary school self. What is like ways that we have changed from then? Were you guys always extroverts?
Oh yeah,
Really?
I moved a lot when I was little, so I had to be. I like walk into a new school and you're like, hey, who wants to be friends?
Yeah. What about you? Were you always an extrovert?
I feel like I wasn't always an extrovert, but like I just didn't know how to talk to people. Like I was really awkward. So like I like wanted to talk to people. It wasn't happening. Like, but yeah, no, like I was very awkward, very annoying, still am kinda, whatever.
Yeah. When I was younger, I think I was an introvert, and like I've mentioned this a couple times before, but growing up, being the only Asian kid in a class, there was this complex, even if it wasn't necessarily there, where I would always just be different. When you're a child, you tend to oversimplify things, and the oversimplification was that I don't look the same as these people do, my parents don't act the same way as these people, so therefore I will never like truly fit in with them. But then like as I grew older, I made a lot of Asian jokes about myself, so that was like got me in real cool. And like I was friends with everybody because I was known as like the really smart kid, so people would like come to me for homework help and whatever, and I just didn't have the luxury of like picking and choosing who I liked or didn't, so I just needed to appeal to everybody. And like I didn't mind elementary school, but it felt like one of those things where I knew that this is a very short time of my life and that nothing like from this would really stick beyond, so I didn't really try to have any like super duper close friends?
For me, as I've like grown up, looking back, I've realized that it's definitely a cultural thing that like unconsciously, like the biases you have as a kid just from like hearing things around you. Like there was one time when I moved over the summer, then my birthday's right away. And I always wanted to have birthday parties. I like whenever I would live places for a decent while, I'd have big birthday parties and that sort of stuff. That was a thing. And then there's one time I didn't know anybody. So I was like, okay, well I need to invite people to my birthday party, and this is a chance to also make more friends. I saw it as a chance to be like, let's just invite a whole bunch of people and hope something happens. But I think I probably only invited skinny white girls, which is awful. But then within like the next couple weeks, some of those people didn't talk to me. Like they came literally just because they got to like come to a thing for free. Yeah. And then I figured out who my real friends were. But
I remember in elementary school, like birthday parties were such politics.
Yeah.
It was like every single time somebody would have one, right? Everybody would hear about it, and it would be a big deal if you were like invited, if you weren't, or the order in which people they were told whether they were invited or not. It's like first, oh yeah, okay, you're important. And if you were told last, it was like, oh okay, I might as well like not even be invited because like I was last on the list or whatever. I don't know, there's just some other things that now that we're out of elementary school seem kind of like an alien world. Honestly, I don't even remember learning that much.
I remember learning things.
In elementary school?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not really.
Not really, like, yeah. One thing that annoys me is like we spent like a good while learning how to properly use semicolons, and as soon as I got into grade 9, we were told never use semicolons. All you youngsters use them wrong anyway, so I do not want to see any semicolons, and I've forgotten how to use them now.
Yeah, I had to learn how to use them and everything else for the SATs. And that will be a whole podcast in itself.
Just for Glenda.
Yeah, just for me to get off my emotional trauma from doing that. So, another thing in elementary school that occurred kind of regularly were school dances. Do you guys have any bops that like you remember
the
vividly?
Elementary school bops.
Yeah. I very much remember. I like to move it. I like to move it. Or like,
I remember at the grade 8 farewell, like karaoke to Pumped Up Kicks. Was
that song is depressing though. It's about.
I don't even ask. We're like, then there's always like the Macarena and Cha-Cha Slide. We would play games at our dances, like also like where you would have to dance with a partner, and then someone had to sit on the other person's knee when the music paused and stuff.
Or like snowballs.
Snowballs were
the politics of that too were so.
It was so dramatic.
Like you had to.
There'd always be like one person that would like get a date or something, and like it would be such a big deal. Like everyone would be talking about it or whatever. Like I just remember that.
Oh wait, okay. Speaking of that, did you guys ever read Discovery Girls?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love Discovery Girls.
I want to go back in
moments
time.
in there.
They have this one section that's like my worst day ever, and like also the embarrassing moments. Over the years, like by the end of my like Discovery Girls days, they really toned down like the embarrassing moments and like the worst day ever.
They got away with so much at the beginning where they would like be like, yeah, so I did this, and it would be like something like completely outrageous, and you'd be like, okay.
Yeah, no, because like my worst day, like in the olden days, in the golden days of Discovery Girl, they'd be like, I got in a terrible car accident. I have trauma from it. But like now it's just like I was bullied. Yeah. Literally. And then like embarrassing moments, like, oh my gosh, the stuff they used to say, like for what people happened to them, like it was so funny. It always like made me laugh. But now it's just like, oh, I said my crush's name out loud in class. Like, I miss the old Discovery Girl days.
Are they still serializing?
I don't know.
I remember because like here we don't really have middle school. There's that middle school aesthetic where it was like, you know, you have your best friend and then you have a locker and you go to your locker to put on your lip gloss. It was like Battle of the Books was where you
never did that. No.
Wow, you weren't a true nerd, Diana.
No.
I was talking to the people who were on my team recently, and we're talking about, and first of all, we thought we were a lot better than we were, and like we never like got close to winning or anything, but we're talking about it, and I looked back and I was like, I read all of the books multiple times just so that I thought that I would be able to know the answer to every single question. I was like, I need to know every single one. I have to read every single book multiple times, know them forwards and backwards.
I miss that, like just the whole like competition. Let me write down super fast and like spelling things correctly and everything. I
was like, wow, I'm such a fast writer now.
Or like, did you guys have improv at your elementary school?
No.
No? Okay. I'm really lucky. We had it for maybe like 1 year when I was in 5th grade.
We had a
and that was
drama
it.
club for 1 year.
Yeah.
It was done.
We didn't even have that.
Yeah. There were other things like act club.
Oh, I remember that.
I guess for you had Me to We,
Mm,
right?
Yeah. we did. It was awful. We didn't do anything. Our teacher would plan something, and then we'd volunteer to sell the raffikis at the volleyball games.
Wow.
It was really sad.
Amazing.
In elementary school, I remember, because we don't have a middle school, but I remember I was just like obsessed weirdly with this like concept of like middle school.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed so cool to me. Like I remember another thing that I was a really big fan of was like the dork diary books. Like in like grade 5 and 6, I wanted to be Nikki Maxwell. I had my own diary where I would just flat out like lie about the things that happened to me. Like I would just like dramatize everything and just so I could be like her. And like I still had the books and I like used all her language. I'd be like, what was some of the stuff she would say?
I can go grab a cup.
I mean, if you want.
Okay, wait. Other aspects of our childhood that are not necessarily just like entertainment or school related.
My fashion sense was awful.
Wait, okay, I have like a thing to share. So up until 5th grade, I mean, right now my fashion sense is out there, right? But this is like informed. I choose to be out there. Back in the day, again, like now, my closet was maybe like 90% my mom's old clothes and just like thrifted stuff. But I like used to wear, I thought that if it was just the same color, it would fit. So I would wear like scarves and like a dress, but then sweatpants under the dress, and it would be all hot pink. And I remember these girls tried to give me like a makeover in 5th grade, like get me hopping on to Lululemon, even though I was like $100 seemed like $1 million back in the day. Triple flip bubble sweaters.
Oh,
I wanted one so bad.
Bubble sweaters, that was so cool. And like every girl was going to dance. And like, if you were cool, you were a dancer. And I remember, like, I did ballroom dancing from maybe like ages like 3 to 5. And I called that dance experience. And I would make up the fact that I went to this dance studio that was outside of the city. And I could do the splits. So I was like, if I could do the splits, I know what a sachet is. I could probably pass. It was such a weird...
I was flipping between dance and figure skating for so long. Like, I would be doing both, but when I moved here, I was like, oh, I don't know what dance studios like best, so I'm just gonna figure skate, because, you know, figure skating's pretty universal. There's a whole mess of me going back and forth between what I wanted to do. And now I do neither.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of like not being athletic at all, I think literally up until quarantine, I've always developed that persona that was like, I'm a nerd that would rather use my brain than I remember saying that like dumb thing to my teacher in 9th grade, because she was talking about like the lifelong benefits of being healthy and exercising. And I was like, what if I just want to use my brain instead of my body? I don't know, a couple games that I was good at was like dodgeball, bench ball, stuff like that. Yeah. Like stuff that required track and field days were always...
I remember in grade 8, I ran the 800 and I was dying afterwards.
You ran the 800 in 8th grade?
And I was dying. I was literally like so out of breath and drinking water, and I sat down on like the cold grass and everything, and we were all like, you know, like basically just laying there trying to recover. And then they called girls 400, which I had also signed up for, and I went,
okay, you crazy. You crazy.
And I went and I did so bad on it. I think I got last in both of those races. That wasn't my thing, but I was like, I have to do every event.
Oh yeah, I remember I low-key like did pretty good in like the shorter like 100-meter sprints. But
you
like
tall girl.
No, but the only reason why I did good is because I was put in the younger age group. So like grade 5 me was like, okay, I guess I'm a little bit athletic. Like I have to go buy a triple flip bubble sweater now or something. But no, it was literally just because everyone else was like way shorter than me, way younger than me. So
I remember that anxiety you got when you were approaching the high jump pole. I can still feel it today. And like the only thing I was weirdly good at was shot put. And that's because
I'm so bad at that one.
That's because my elementary school teacher had like a way of demonstrating it. He said, you squat down like you're on the toilet and you're on the phone and you're Superman. Said, Superman on the phone, on the toilet. And I don't know, I remember that so well now. Speaking of teachers, if we could have like one favorite elementary school teacher.
My grade 7 and 8 teacher, he was very like artsy and that sort of stuff. Like he had like the big gauges and everything. And like there was like for school things, he would be one of the teachers who would volunteer to like dye their hair leopard print and stuff. And like every subject he would to find some way to throw art in, and it was like my dream class. Like we're just like getting to like do creative things, teacher occasionally giving anecdotes or telling a joke or something, and like playing games at the end of class, like with, like sitting at the whiteboard but trying to guess what celebrity's name was written over your head and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I would also have to say my grade 7 and 8 teacher. So this man ran every day. He listens to podcasts. He always has the coolest facts to share, and he just knows a lot about everything. So in my grade 7 and 8 class, we did CQ. Any of you guys know that? It's kind of a different way of teaching the curriculum. Like you get assignments that are out of 4, and then like you usually get a 3, and then there's a bump it up question. And every month or so, you would have a major theme. For example, one theme was resilience, and you would have to tie like social studies stuff to it, art to resilience. It was actually like, now that I think about it, one of my more like favorite kind of teaching systems. And he like made me feel super smart, and it kind of encouraged that learning and stuff like that. And he was just like a really cool guy. I think he had this jar of like rocks that he collected from places that he's been in the world. Him and his wife have traveled like almost everywhere, and it was just one of those people that was like, this is like a peak adult.
I don't really know if I have like a favorite like childhood teacher, but I did really like my grade 9 English teacher. He was real kooky. He like lassoed a kid once during English. It was super fun. A lot of the stuff he said was also just like very useful too. Like I find myself sometimes like even in like grade 12 AP English, like going back to some of like the stuff he said in grade 9 English. So I just think he was a really great teacher. And I guess we don't need to make sorry. We
don't need the full list, just like a couple.
I'm gonna leave just that part.
No, don't do that. Why am I always burping?
At the end of the like after we do like 10 or so episodes, just Diana burp compilation.
Y'all are making fun of me. I have serious acid issues. My stomach hurts a lot of the time. I burp a bit.
To be in there.
Whatever.
Hi, Brittany.
You're a babe. You're a babe. You're a little baby.
Brittany's a babe. He's such a stud.
You're such a stud.
Such a stud.
Handsome young man.
Handsome. Very handsome. We are about to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening to us. If you have a topic suggestion for us, please leave that down below in the comments or message one of us. And go check out Diana's SoundCloud.
No! Not this.
Thank you so much for listening to us get deep while our tea steeps. Cheers!
Cheers.
Crisp.